For anyone who clicked on this video hoping to find a well thought out, well put together, um, documented with all these different quotes and things like that type of video, I'm sorry to have to disappoint you. This video is strictly off of emotion and just how I feel about it and how a lot of other people feel about it, and it needs to be known. For those who don't know, this past weekend, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, I gotta remember how to say it because I don't even say it anymore, did a Watchtower article, which they do every Sunday. And this article they do every Sunday, not the same article every Sunday, but every Sunday, every congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses goes over the same article. And this article was speaking about, among other things, but mainly, apostates. I am an apostate. A lot of you watching this video are apostates. And what it said, very directly, was that we are mentally diseased. I personally take offense to that because I actually have ADHD. Now, a lot of people may not believe that that's a real disorder. They may think it's more willpower or whatever you want to call it, but trust me, it's a real disease. I got medicated for it, and I can see a huge difference. So like I said, I took personal offense to that. But even more so, the thing that really struck me was how blatant this was and how direct it was. A lot of articles from the past you kind of have to, it's more left up to, I guess, your own personal decision if you want to follow this or things like that. But the way it was put forward in this article, and just so you know, this was the July 15th, 2010 Watchtower. For those who want to look it up. I also have a PDF copy. If anyone would like it, I can definitely forward it to them. And in fact, the version that I have is the Simplified English edition, which is funny because this is the first Simplified English edition of the study version of the article of the Watchtower, which meant that they wanted this information to be very clear, not to be misunderstood and misconstrued in any way. So they want people to know this information. When they say certain things such as apostates do not care about us, that statement is extremely generalized. There are some who have left the organization who could care less about anyone else left in it. And that's fine, that's your prerogative. But the majority of us, the ones that I know, the ones I've spoken to, and others who I've just spoken to online or read certain things, the majority of us do care about those still in the society. That's the reason why we make these videos, the reason why we create posts, blogs, protests, anything like that. It's because we do care. We want our family and our friend to be freed from this mind-controlling cult. They also say things that are really disturbing, so much so that I had to write a letter to my mom to tell her about my concerns. And one of the things that they say, if someone leaves the organization, especially if it's a child, and this doesn't have to be a young child, obviously if you have parents, you're a child to someone. And what it says on page 25, and some of the subheading, one of the subheadings is when someone we love leaves Jehovah. It basically says that those who leave love the world and the things in it more than God and their family. So how they combat that is they say, and this isn't a bold heading, our love for Jehovah must be stronger than our love for family members who are not loyal to Jehovah. Anyone who says that this religion, this cult, this society, this publishing organization doesn't split up families need only read this article. And this article tells you that you should not meet with them, you shouldn't eat with them, Because as I said, they're mentally diseased. And if you catch that disease, you will die. Everyone's entitled to their own religious beliefs, so I can understand some people saying that, well, you don't want to be involved with certain people because they can bring you down. But when you go so far as to say that we are mentally diseased and that we do not care about you at all, and that we love sinning more than we love our family, then you're taking a step too far. You are generalizing us, and you're pigeonholing the idea, and I find this to be gross and disrespectful and completely unloving. If you think about it, almost anyone who's made any advancement in that organization, on any other religious organization, is an apostate. Charles Taz Russell was an apostate. He left the Adventists and started this religion. So he's an apostate. You followed an apostate. It says that people shouldn't listen to apostates because they have false teachings and they twist words. How is showing you something in your own literature that you followed for whatever amount of time until it was changed? How is someone disagreeing with that or showing you that from your own literature misleading? How is that false teachings? This was handed down to you from the governing body, which you believe came from God to direct you. Also, the fact that you have so many teachings that go back and forth and progress or whatever. How do you handle those who say that they're of the anointed class and believe that they've received new light personally, and that something that you're learning at this moment isn't correct? Do you disfellowship them? Are they involuntarily disassociated? Since that can happen. For those who don't know, when you're disassociated, that means that you took it upon yourself to say, I no longer want to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Normally you'll let the elders know or someone in the congregation know. Eventually an announcement will be made. That's different from disfellowshipping, which is when a judicial committee decides that you're no longer part of the congregation. By the way, both subjects are treated the same, whether disassociated or disfellowshipped. So those who come up with these things, are they disfellowshipped? Are they disassociated? And then if and when their new revelations start popping up in the Watchtower, are they reinstituted? Do you allow them to come back in? Does anyone else see the flawed logic in this? How just it's so without love that it's scary and it's hurtful. Like I said, I had to write a letter to my mother because, as she knows for a long time, that I no longer subscribe to being a Jehovah's Witness, to any of their beliefs whatsoever. And I was never baptized. I was an unbaptized publisher who was eventually read off. So technically I was marked, which is basically the same thing as disfellowshipping or disassociating, which basically tells people that this person is going down a path that will eventually lead them away from Jehovah. So you should just stay away from them now. And I had to write her because since she knows that I don't subscribe to the witnesses anymore, and my wife no longer does either, and she's made that clear to her family, but yet she always wants us to come up for dinners and hang out, just spend time with her. And that's nothing wrong with that. I completely love that. And that's my mom. I want to spend time with her. I love to share stories with her and just be with her and have time with her, along with my wife. So I had to write this letter to ask her, because now it is not so cloudy. It's not all up in the air what you want to do. It's very direct that they want witnesses to have absolutely no contact with former members or family members who are no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, I know that everyone always has their own different conscious matters. For instance, there was a sister who we knew who had a sister, a blood sister, who lived with her, who was disfellowshipped. And she was disfellowshipped for over 20-something years. But yet she lived in the house, and she was always involved in family things. And my mom used to always frown upon this, say, you know, I don't really think they should be doing that. She's disfellowshipped. I'm not sure if that's right. Fine. But now this is so clear that I'm wondering how it'll affect my relationship with my mother, how it will affect her relationship with my wife. And so I just think it's important that people are aware of what the Watchtower is telling people to do. If you believe that they did not break up families, you need only read this article for it to confirm that. And also, it's good to know that this is what's called the study edition of the Watchtower, which means this isn't the Watchtower that's being distributed to people out in, to everyone. This isn't the Watchtower that you're gonna find on your doctor's, in your doctor's office amongst all the peoples and U.S. magazines. This isn't the one you're gonna get at your doorstep. This isn't the one you're gonna get when they're passing you at the train station. This is the one that they study personally, meaning this is something that they want the established members to realize and to spread amongst other members. This is a mind state that they want them to cultivate and they want it to grow. So I thought it was important that that be pointed out, and also to make the point known that not all apostates are trying to destroy your faith. We are not. It's not that we do not care about you. We care about you more than you know. Trust me. We even care about the ones we do not know. Because not only are we trying to save our family and our friends, we're also trying to save any new ones who they're trying to draw in. Those who we don't know, we may have just passed in conventions and things like that. At least for me personally, that's why I do this. Eventually, of course, we would like to see the Watchtower Society completely destroyed. One day that may happen, and I think we're making steps towards it. There are a couple of court cases that are out right now about child molestation. I even heard that the governing body is under investigation, and that these cases haven't been dropped yet, so they are going forward with them. There was even an article in a British newspaper that I read this morning about some former witnesses filing a complaint because what was written in this Watchtower borders on hatred, religious hatred, and that goes against their laws. So that's something that's amazing that they're doing. They're going after it. I'm not entirely sure what the laws here are on religious freedom, but if there is something against religious hate, then that should be investigated. And like I said, I didn't really have anything planned out or written down specifically for this video. I just need to get some of these thoughts off my head because they're troubling, extremely troubling. And I really hope that those of you who are watching this, and I say apostates because if you are still in the witness organization and you're watching this video and you've even made it this far into the video, you are an apostate. Accept it and accept the responsibility that comes with that, because there is a responsibility in becoming an apostate. It means that now you have the right and the responsibility to speak the truth. So I hope that everyone who's watching this will do that and take some time out of their day to please read that article. If you can find it, like I said, I'll send it to you. Badass out. Peace and love.